Hi guys, this is Hero. How's everyone doing today? आज बता game show आज सब कैसे हो? So today, right now, I'm at the end of a 3-day fast. Okay, it's Wednesday, late at night. I haven't eaten since Sunday. Okay, and yesterday, Tuesday for Ekadashi, I did not drink any water. Now, I wanted to use this opportunity to discuss fasting in full length, right? No water versus like just no food, or like how it is over multiple days, the stuff you can experience. And I'm not just talking about this one 3-day thing, right? Like it's just 3 days, but I like fast a lot in general. So I want to just share like some extremely specific effects while it's kind of fresh in my brain. Okay. So let me go ahead and get started. The first thing is there is a complete difference between no food and no food and no water. And it's not just as simple as, oh, no food and no water. Yeah, it's going to be more extreme. No, there's a completely different way to approach it. Okay. For me, I'm just talking about me. No food, you can still kind of do your routine. Okay. Now, yes, I have a little bit of an advantage because over the past 5 years, there's at least once a month on average, again, just on average, where I probably go without food, right? So I'm used to it. And some of the stuff in my routine, like I go to the gym 6 times a week, right? And I'm a little bit of like a bigger person. Like I'm a little over 200 pounds. So like I'm 3 days into fasting and I still went to the gym and I still played basketball like right now, right? Just before I recorded this video and showered. Uh so it's like I'm able to at least do that kind of stuff, right? But like I said, it's a part of my routine. But I would assume anybody who doesn't have food can still do their routine, right? They can still, properly like hang out with their friends and family. Like you can do social stuff, right? Like I talked to like a couple people and things like that. Like I can still work properly, spend time with your family, whatever, right? You can still kind of do your routine, but it's a lot more enhanced. So first thing you'll notice with no food is like you'll cut out all of your garbage, right? Like I have almost no motivation to like watch TV or anything like that. Why? Because you become really aware of your need for consumption, okay? So, you're constantly like, "Oh man, right now should be lunch." You kind of start to realize hopefully that how much eating is just for mental pleasure. Like just for like the experience of eating versus like actually like survival food, right? So all your consumption, right? Your consumption of media, blah blah blah. You kind of will be like, oh man, I really don't feel like it, right? Because you're just not trying to absorb any like garbage energy. Okay, hopefully. So you're still able to do your routine, and even when you do your routine, some of the anxieties and things like that. Let's just say you're working and like you have certain anxieties that you face at work or stuff like that. They won't really be as present, or you'll be able to overcome them extremely relatively easier than you usually do. Okay, which is great. Um, so that's kind of like no food, right? Like you're still able to do you. You're still able to be a human. You're just kind of operating at a little bit of a higher level, right? Now, no food and no water. You're like so high, you're not even able to like be a fully functioning human anymore. Okay, you like even me personally, right? I'm like fasting, like I fast a lot. Like I definitely can't play basketball and go to the gym without drinking water, right? At least me. There's could be some other people like more better advanced people. That's fine, but I can't. Okay, I'm really forced to just tackle the stuff in my mind. Now, the one thing you could, kind of point out is like, oh, isn't it great to kind of just tackle your mind because your mind is going to bleed out in the rest of your experiences through your actions and things like that. Yes, but with the no food, there is an advantage in your routine while you're actually doing certain stuff in your day-to-day life, being aware of it in the exact moment, right? Like there's a certain benefit that's coming across by me giving you this video information because it's right now during the end of my fast, right? Versus like so with no food, you're still able to kind of function and do stuff. So you'll be more aware of things while you're actually doing them. Versus no food and no water. Yes, it does have an effect, right? I'm not saying it's pointless, but it's a completely different animal. It's going straight at the deep subconscious and like tackling like your deepest like traumas and things like that, right? Because like it literally feels like almost torture. Like your mouth is getting parched. My mouth is still a little parched from yesterday, right? I mean, I was pretty active today also. But yeah, so I just wanted to display that, right? It's not like, oh, like do no food and then do no water. Like if you jump from like no food and then straight to like no water, like you need to be prepared to like just like not do anything for the day and just really tackle your subconscious versus like no food. That's great for like, elevated spirituality and stuff like that. But, some of us just want to improve our life, like, not at that deeper, like subconscious level all the time, right? And that's why no food can, you know, be a great alternative, right? To basically just continue what you're doing, but remove your kind of day-to-day anxieties, right? Versus, and kind of be a little bit calmer in your day-to-day routine versus like no water. You're not really. It has more of like a long-term benefit than a short-term, right? That wasn't exactly the right way to word it. My brain functioning is a little lower right now, but I think you guys get what I'm saying. Like with no food, like I'm able to be social, like with friends and family and things like that. So I'm able to really see myself like operate like more calmly and just more groundedly and things like that. Versus like no food and no water. Like yeah, you're able to tackle like certain subconscious like insecurities and things like that, but they don't necessarily bleed out like immediately like in a very noticeable way. Okay, even though that it is very, very helpful and probably in the long term, like in the long term, like more helpful, right? And with no food and no water, like you'll still be like the next day like more calm than if you like just did no food, right? But like in the actual like during the actual fast, like there is a benefit of just having food versus not having just food versus not having food and water. Okay, I just wanted to say that because I don't think anybody is really speaking on that too much. Okay, because yeah, no food and no water, like from a spiritual standpoint, it's like that's the highest level, right? But like, dude, sometimes like we just want to be normal people, right? And then if you want to just improve your normal life right now, sometimes no food is an option, right? Because you're still able to work, you're still able to socialize, you're still able to do things that are in your routine, okay? Notice how I said in your routine, right? Like I'm able to go to the gym because it's in my routine, religiously almost, right? That's that. Another thing is, with no food, you you definitely can use water as like still like a stimulation, right? For your taste buds, I guess you can say. With no water, you have nothing to stimulate. Like at least you have one option versus no water, you have zero options, right? Imagine if you're a person and you have like all your friends are taken away except your one main friend. Not that bad, right? But now imagine you have no friends. Okay? You kind of see the difference here. So hopefully that made sense. Now, moving on, right? So how does it feel during like a multi-day fast? I'll also touch on that a little bit too. Okay, so I would objectively say probably the more you go on, the easier it is. Right? In the beginning, your routine is disrupted, right? Like, you're looking forward to your nice savory lunch, or, you're filling up your belly before dinner and then just sleeping the night away. Okay. The first day is the hardest, right? Your lunch is skipped and you're like, oh man, because like I said, lunch, at least to me, and I know a lot of people, it's like a pleasant experience, right? Like taking a break and you're just eating all this nice food and stuff, and then at dinner, you're done with the day and you're just eating nice food, right? So your belly's kind of gonna try to trick you into like, hey, we might need this XYZ, but it's fine. The next day, it will start to get a little bit easier, right? Some of those hungers will kind of subside. And I know for me personally, this recent fast, I did no water, okay? But let's just pretend like you're not doing it, because like I said, I've done this multiple times. So let's just pretend like you are not doing, you're drinking water all 3 of the days, right? So the second day and the third day, your hunger will kind of go down day by day, okay, in general. Now, what will happen is, in my opinion, so a fasting is a way of cleansing, okay? So when you cleanse, you are, when your body is like finally cleansing, right? Because we put all kinds of shit in our body, okay? When your body is finally cleansing, it wants to continue cleansing, okay? So once it kind of fights those urges, I'm not gonna say it gets like easier day by day, right? Because, but the actual, just the full blown feeling of hunger is not as bad. Now, what is kind of bad, right? Why don't people just go on like 2 to 3 week fasts all the time, right? If it just gets easier day by day. Thing is, food for us is not just survival, right? It's a experience. It's a mental, emotional thing that we all crave. Not just physically, we crave it mentally and emotionally as well. So, just like how a lot of us cannot go a day without our phones, you putting food in your mouth and in your body is an experience that your mind looks forward to. So eventually, that will kind of catch up to you. But you'll notice if you go like past 2, 3 days without food, that first meal, like you might just be able to have a couple bites. Okay. Also, if you ever see someone on the internet, and I've seen this before, right, where they break 5, 7 day fast or whatever, and especially if it's no water and they're just downing themselves. I'll talk about this in a second. But if they're just eating a monsoon of food and like a lot of water and stuff like that, I would highly, highly, highly be skeptical of that. And only someone who's been in that situation would know that your body does not want a large quantity that quick. Okay? I'm just gonna leave it at that. Could be a little different for everybody. But even me, I'm super parched right now, and I didn't drink any water yesterday. And you'd think I woke up and just downing water. No, I had like 2 sips, and I'm almost ready to throw up. Okay? Now, I'm not gonna say I'm ready to throw up, but like definitely like was feeling like nauseous and things like that, right? Because like I said, my body was in like this cleansing thing going on, right? So yeah. So yeah, like I said, you could also use the fasting to like afterwards to like start a diet, right? Because it's like your body's so used to and appreciates that it's cleansing. You can say, hey, we'll still cleanse. We don't have to starve ourselves like we're doing now, but we can still continue to cleanse, right? And your body will actually be like, I can't just go tomorrow and eat Taco Bell, right? I'm gonna like, my stomach's gonna like blow up or something. Like, you just can't, right? I mean, you feel like 10 times worse than what you usually do if you like eat fast food, for example. Okay. I don't think there's any money that could pay me to like stuff myself with like 5 Taco Bell items tomorrow. I haven't had Taco Bell in like over a year, I think. But anyways, yeah, I'm starting to lose my train of thought. But now I talked a little bit about no food, right? Now no water. It's a different animal because no food, like you can do for multiple days. No water, you can do for multiple days. I personally haven't. Okay. Um, I'd like to maybe one day, but yeah, like I said, there's just too much going on for me to do no water for multiple days right now. But man, I had so much more like, I was like kind of just thinking like throughout the past couple days, and then now it's just all blank. But I guess that's just part of like a spontaneous, like little genuine video. But I will say that no water throughout the day, it just gets worse and worse. Okay. There's nothing you can do about it, and it's gonna be the worst in the morning and at night because like just like kind of like food, like I do kind of like intermittent fasting inadvertently. Um, like so like I eat lunch and I eat dinner. So like at those times I'm gonna be the most hungriest, right? So like no water, like it's kind of the most important, like when you first wake up and then when you go to sleep, right? So those 2 times is going to be really, really bad. At least for me, it was. I don't know how it will be for you. I will say though, with fasting, you have this like desire to, at least for me, to like stretch and just breathe, right? Like if you're kind of craving energy, you'll just breathe. And a lot of us don't breathe, right? We kind of like subconsciously holding our breath all day, but you kind of just learn to remember that breath work is very important, just randomly throughout the day. Okay. Yeah, another thing, your body will feel light. You'll kind of feel inspired to stretch. Now, no water. Me personally, I sometimes get like random tight feelings, like places in my body, right? Especially my like back and legs and stuff. And I think that just has to do with wear and tear from working out also. But it's almost like healing those areas. It might not be doing that. I don't know. Okay. Yeah. Let's see. I'm at 16 minutes. Anything else before this video ends? Yeah, I will say any other food that like possibly was appetizing before, it might not be as appetizing. Right? You'll start to crave like certain types of food. Um, like for example, there's this one like auntie nearby that like makes these really good puffs, and like I kind of asked my mom about them before, but like it just didn't work out. Today she brought them. I was just like, do I really want to put this puff in my body? Right, it's right in front of me. And I know I'm craving it before, but like my body is just literally like, dude, we are not eating this right now. Okay. Oh, one other thing. With people, right? You won't like be like annoyed as easily. Okay. People will say stuff to, bother you from here and there. Anything they say, it doesn't really bother you, right? Because your body's kind of like in this like different zone where it's like, dude, is this like really like affecting my survival or something? And then why do we care so much about appealing this person or pleasing this person or something like that, right? Now, granted, sometimes, yeah, I mean, like, for example, like if you're like parents or grandparents like ask you to do something, like, yeah, you need to do it, right? But if like somebody's just like annoying you, like at work or in some social setting, it's like, dude, like, it's not the end of the world, man. It's, and like we all kind of tell ourselves that, but like secretly, it's kind of sometimes could bother you. This is not like that. This is like it genuinely is like, dude, it does not bother me, right? I'm genuinely okay with like all these people thinking like the worst about me. And that's what you're supposed to do throughout meditation and just in general, even when you're not fasting, right? But that's just what happens. One other thing is the actual meditation itself. So you're probably going to meditate a little bit if you don't eat or you don't drink any water, right? I will say the meditation sessions with the no water are way, way, way. I'm not going to say deeper, but stuff will get brought up a lot more quickly, right? A lot of, when you're on no food, possibly some of the things that you're stressing about, you're still kind of going to try to think about them, but like alter the way you think about them, right? With no food and no water, you just is like, dude, this stuff literally does not matter. Does not matter. I'm stressing about this for no reason. Like this concept should not even be that's important to me. And like I said, it has its pros and its cons, both of them, right? And they're both kind of different animals and they're both kind of tackling you at like different, or kind of healing you at different vibrations, okay? All right, so I'm at almost 20 minutes. I'm going to end the video. If you have any questions or comments, as usual, feel free to let your boy know. And until next time, I'll talk to everyone later. Thank you all very, very much for watching.